All right, team R167. You have two circuits, two main circuits. There's 3 circuits altogether, but 2 main circuits. There are 5 exercises in each one of those circuits. One exercise is actually an active recovery, so it allows the heart rate to get down, replenish some of that ATP, so you can go hard on the next 2 exercises. You have, again, 5 exercises, 3 rounds, 30 seconds of work, 25 seconds transition time from exercise to exercise, and a 45-second end of round rest time. Then you have 60 seconds in between the first circuit to the second circuit. Same concept, 5 exercises, 1 active recovery, same timing. Then you get a 30-second transition to the last circuit. Now, the key, just like with the other ones, on the last round, the last exercise of the last round, you need to start handing out rubber bands. Now, these are the small little rubber bands. They're going to be used for the plank hand walk. So we're not going to be using the greens that we usually normally use on our legs. It's probably going to be more like the red. And then your last circuit is going to consist of a rubber band plank hand walk, which is up, down. You're just basically going up, up, down, down. That's just the walk. And then you're going to hold the plank. So they're going to hold the plank, and there is 0 rest in between the rubber band plank walk and the plank. Then you get a 10-second rest in between each one of those rounds. And again, it's only 3 rounds. And their team is R167. To be the dumbbell overhead shoulder press. So on this one, make sure that you have the benches in their full upright position. They don't go any higher. You don't want them straight up and down. I wouldn't say full upright position. You don't want them perfectly straight up and down. You want to have a slight angle. So it's going to be the second notch to the end. So you have just a slight angle, takes some of the pressure off of, puts you in a less of an impingement problem, so for shoulder injuries. So on this particular exercise, again, you're going to be doing both of them. When you pick up with your legs. Now, how you're going to get into this exercise, most people, it's not going to be a big deal. They just lift the weights up. For those that are going a little bit heavier than what they might be able to handle by just picking up, all you do is just set it on the legs. You bring the leg up, put the dumbbell in position, bring the other leg up, put the other dumbbell in position, and then you just press. Now, you can come in an open grip position and then go to the neutral grip. So come down and then twist. Okay, you don't have to. You can certainly come this direction here, but this gives most of your, this is going to work this is going to work more of your stabilizing muscles. When you're done, you come down in a neutral grip position. Bring one leg up, drop, and don't drop it on that leg. Bring the leg up, gently touch, and then down. Then from here, you just stand up and then back down. Okay? Also, have a slight incline. So on the first notch, you want to have this seat on that first notch so they don't slide out too easily. Dumbbell pullover on the bench. So the dumbbell pullover. Again, anytime you pick up weight, use your legs, not your lower back. Come into position. Now, the way that the dumbbell pullover works, what you want is you want a hand position like this. You can either grab it here, but ideally you want like a heart shape, and it's going to go around the bottom of the dumbbell in this position. You're going to keep it on your leg and keep it against your chest. Use your leg, keep it against your chest the entire time until you get into position, then lift it up. Now notice my arms, they're not locked out, they have a slight bend. And I'm going to come back and keep that bend the same the entire time. Now, for some people, you can put your legs up. That takes some of the pressure off the lower back. However, when you get heavier weights, that could be a problem because it might want to pull you backwards. So, again, only come to about eye level. So you don't want to come here because that takes all the pressure off of your lats and puts it into your bone structure. You want to keep working your lats at the same time. So eye level. Full range of motion, back up again. If this bothers people's shoulders, you can always do any other type of back exercise. When you're done, it's going to come to your chest. Bring the knee or bring the leg, and then roll back out, roll it onto your leg, and that is the dumbbell pullover. Next, you're going to have the wheel rollout or the wheel hold. So what you're going to demonstrate, knees against this platform. This particular exercise puts a lot of stress on the lower back if you do not have a strong core, in particular strong abdominals. So you always start them in this position. They come out and back. This is the wheel roll, okay? Now, the key here is we're not doing this. This is not working our core at all, hardly, okay? We're stabilizing ourselves with the roller. This is actually working your core. You will start to feel your core working in here. And you don't have to go full range of motion. Just limit the range of motion to make it easier. Want to make it more challenging? Just take those knees back. The further back you go with the knees, the more challenging this gets. Now, the most challenging, the highest version of this, is going to be a hold. You're going to hold it here for 30 seconds. That is hard. Holding it on the step is harder than holding it down here because a lot of my weight is now being supported by my quads. When I'm up here, I'm elevated to where everything's on my knees. So it actually is harder to hold this on the step. Whereas we always try to make it easier by putting them on the step, but in that situation where they're holding it out, it actually is harder to do it on the step. But again, I have to remind you that you do not want to put somebody with lower back problems, or if they have a hernia, or they feel like they have a hernia, or there's a pain, discomfort when they do something like that, have them do crunches. So the very beginning of this is for somebody who has abdominal issues, put them in a crunch. Do not have them do that. That is a very advanced move, even for the beginners. All right, next, single arm kettlebell front raise. This is not a kettlebell swing. We're not doing this, okay? What we're doing is coming down and then raising. Coming down and raising. We're continuing to fatigue the legs, continuing to keep that heart rate up by driving the legs, because this exercise right here is not going to do much for your heart rate. Again, you can go as light as you want. You can go down to the 5-pound dumbbells. You can use dumbbells on this just as easily as you can use kettlebells. They just keep it parallel to the ground. Okay, if they do this, they're going to start working a little bit more chest. So you want to make sure that they're parallel to the ground. Exercise is going to be the RIP 60 push-up or fly. So for most people, it's going to be push-up. These need to be all the way down. To make it easier, all they have to do is walk further out. So the further out they go, the easier this is. Even for the super deconditioned, they just simply come out here. So it's real easy to modify this exercise. They don't need to do anything other than this exercise. Make it a little bit more challenging, they're gonna walk back. The further they get, the closer they get to that wall, the harder this becomes. They wanna really challenge themselves all the way back to the wall, push-up position. If that's not enough, you can do a fly. Next one is gonna be your kettlebell sumo squat, upright row. So you're gonna come down into a sumo squat. Now, key here, anytime they pick up a heavy load, and this one could be fairly heavy because you'd be surprised how much you can lift with this. Drop the hips, keep that chest up, and engage that core. If they can't hit their stomach without losing their breath, that means that they don't have their core engaged. That needs to be engaged. So draw the belly button in, come up, row. You lead with your elbows, and again, this is pretty light. Okay, so you can get the 80-pounders for some of your advanced people. Easily get the 80-pounders for that. But again, you're demonstrating to your beginners. So you want to start with weight like this, okay? Because we always demonstrate to the beginners. Squat, upright row. Squat, upright row. The deeper you can get in that squat, the more you open the hips up. So not only are you getting legs, but you're also getting, you're opening up your equalizer row. So you get several options here. First, you got to get into it. So best way is just to bend down, grab it on either side. Then feet are going to be at the bar. So your heels are going to be at the bar. And the reason is so you can use your legs to help assist you up. And very little of your legs are going to be used in the weight. However, for some very beginner people, that might be a bit much. So they may have to do double bent over row. So option one, heels against there. Option two, or not option two, but as you get more and more advanced, the feet come out further and further. Hardest version is going to be the legs pretty much locked all the way up, all the way down. If you need more, you can always add weight to that. So some of your more advanced people may need to actually add weight to that because this may be just a little bit too easy for them. And there is the equalizer row. So then we've got the bird dog. Bird dog, what we're doing here
and you'll keep everybody on their knees. Some of your more advanced people that want to do the bird dog this direction or on their toes, hands and toes, that's fine. But I would demonstrate it on their knees because what we're trying to do is establish stability, get that core activated, and start working the back muscles. And again, it's also correcting our posture because we want to look up and we're tightening up these muscles up here, pulling that head back. So don't let them put their head down. You want that head up. They want to look forward and really start engaging those back muscles so that when we do squats or anything like that, those muscles are already engaged.
Squat car driver. So the squat car driver, you're going to be in the squatted position. You don't have to be super deep. If it's a leg day, deeper, better. If it's not a leg day, then not so deep, but you're taking pressure off the lower back. Key here, get those arms out. They're not locked like this. They have a slight bend in them, but they're all the way out. And you're going to go 180 degrees. Arm from the top goes all the way to the bottom arm goes all the way to the top. You keep that just about eye level. Stays there the entire time. If that's too hard, what you'll see is people start doing this, gets closer and closer. As it gets closer and closer, it gets easier. So for somebody who's a beginner, that the 10-pound plate is a little too hard, just have them bring it in. And pretty much anybody can do this when it's closer to the body. The further they are, the harder this is going to get. For your advanced people, just start adding weight. However, even for the advanced people, what they do, they try to take too much weight, and it ends up coming in here. This is about the best they can do. They are better off coming out here, going a little bit lighter, doing better form, less likely for injury, less likely for strain, and they will get a better workout, even though in their mind they may not. So that is the squatted car driver. All right, the squat rubber band row, single arm squat rubber band row. So here, the key is to keep the shoulders down and back. You want the shoulders down and back. You do not want to disengage the lat. This would be disengaged lat. Notice how my shoulders come back, up forward. I want the shoulders down and back the entire time, so my lat is always engaged. I'm going to row back to about 90 degrees. Don't have to come back this far, just 90 degrees, keeping my chest or my shoulders and my hips square. This is going to really work my core, so I want to keep them square. Again, you move further back, it's going to make it harder. Shoulders down and back, proud chest, squatted so it takes off the pressure of the lower back. Again, back and down. Again, don't release. You don't want to release. You want to keep that constant tension on that lat. When you're done, walk forward. Do not let the members just let the rubber band go and fly into the wall or fly into other people's. You got to get the tension off, then they can set the rubber band down. And that is the rubber band, single arm rubber band squat row.
Is going to be the rubber band plank in out. So we're going to go in out. So when we do this, we start in this position, plank on the hands and toes, or if you need to, you can go to your knees. You're going to take it and go out, out, in, out, out, in. Now the thing to remember on this one is that when you move your hands, you're not doing this. Okay? You actually take the time to move your hands out and then move them slowly back in. And that's the most challenging part about that, is to not just take that and whack it right back in place, because then you lose the effect of it. Our new exercise for our warm-up is going to be the seated inner thigh stretch. So here, you're going to be in the